go back down. Janie Gyal, come let me go back down. Janie Gyal, come let me go back down. Long, long time, Janie.
School of the Nations offers a complete educational experience based on social and emotional development, service, skills, and talent development, along with our academic programs. Jump into reading this season. The fun of learning never ends. Join us for upcoming Kids NBA during the Easter holidays.
Hi everybody, welcome boys and girls and mommy and daddy, Aja and Aji. Not forget mamu and mommy. Hello there and welcome to another edition of Storytime with Janie Gyal right here on NCN channel 11. Me want to say good morning, neighbor, morning, and hi there to everybody over at School of the Nations. Thank you for sponsoring Storytime with Janie Gyal. Now, boys and girls, we got a very special treat for you today. You see, Janie Gyal got something different and unique in Shahan. I can tell you a little bit about this. And just in case you're wondering about this red rope, stay tuned. We got enough thing to share with you. Now, boys and girls, last week, Tuesday on March 22, the fourth president of Guyana. Do you know the name of Guyana's fourth president? Social studies. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, ding. You get it right. Yes, Dr. Cheddie Jagan. He was Guyana's fourth president, and on March 22 was his birth anniversary. Happy birthday to you. But some of us, we remember and we celebrate Dr. Jagan's birth anniversary, even though he's no longer with us. Dr. Jagan was born on March 22, 1918. And from the year 1918, little mathematics here for you. Minus 1918 from 2022, how old would Dr. Jagan be? Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, ding! You're right. 104 years. Wow, you proper bright. You proper bright. Good job. So, in observance of Dr. Cheddie Jagan's, Guyana's fourth president's birth anniversary, Janie Gyal got one little treat for you. Janie Gyal got one friend, old man Papi. You remember he was here a couple of weeks ago, right? For Valentine's Day, yes. So old man Papi come all the way from Podrine on the west bank of Demerara. And old man Papi can tell we a little bit about when Granpa Cheddi was a little boy. Yes, and how Granpa Cheddi used to use a flambeau. Yeah, a Dutch bottle, and it got little, kerosene inside, and it got a little wick, and you light it. Granpa Cheddi didn't have electricity, and he didn't have smartphone, nor he didn't have, them scooter where you go on, and it just drive you around. He had to study with a flambeau, and skipping rope, and washer, and they used to play gum, and kuru seed. Do you know how to play with the kuru seed? And you knock marble? Right, and go-kart and all of them things. So boys and girls, put your hand together for old man Papi.
Good morning, boys and girls. Me a old man Papi, and me here to tell you about one famous president. Dr. Cheddie Jagan. And famous people, we think that famous people born with gold spoon in their mouth, but nah. Dr. Cheddie Jagan, right, was an ordinary person. And his wife, Janie Jagan, wrote a story when Granpa Cheddi was a little boy. And that was written for his two children, Joey and Nadira. Okay? And it was written by Janie Gyal. Yes, when Granpa Cheddi was a little boy in Port Morant. Port Morant is a sugar estate. He played and had lots of fun in ways much different from yours. Yes. You live in the city? Granpa Cheddi lived in the country. There was no electricity, no refrigerator, no running water or toys to play with. But the little boys found a lot of things to do, and many were fun. He used to fish in the trenches, sometimes with a cast net, and sometimes with a string tied to the end of the stick and had a hook attached. He caught a lot of fish too, and took them home to his mother, Braconi, your great-grandmother. She had only one name, as did your great-grandfather, Jagan. Your last name came from your great-grandfather, Jagan, who was quite a man. He wore a big felt hat with broad brims, and he pulled his pants up way above the belt. And the belt was very, very, very wide. He was tall and had a strong, booming voice. You would have liked him. Great-grandmother Braconi was very small, very quiet, except when one of her children was bad. Then she would talk to them hard. They learned early that size isn't what counts, and they all behaved well and listened to her. Life wasn't easy for her. She had 11 children, 6 boys and 5 girls, and brought them up to be strong, healthy, and hard-working. Your Grandpa Cheddi had to work when he was a little boy. You don't have to do that, but he did, or else the family might not have had enough food to eat or clothes to wear. Grandpa Cheddi had to help in the kitchen garden, weeding and watering the plants. When there was enough for market, he used to go with great-grandma Braconi and sell the greens and fruits at the Port Morant marketplace. He also helped with planting, cutting, and the threshing of paddy. But that could be fun too, you know. He used to sit on the fork of a tree at the center of the kahari, or threshing mound, and at the same time prong the ox, who was walking round and around and around, threshing the paddy. That's how they removed the stalk, and after it went to the mill, it would be used to eat and sell. Sometimes too, Grandpa Cheddi had to go into the pastures or paddy fields to mind the cattle. There was fun in that too, because there was so much to see. Birds hopping and looking for paddy seeds. Sometimes little animals cramping across the field, and sometimes even a snake to dodge. To protect the threshed paddy from being stolen. Grandpa Cheddi used to spend the night sleeping on the sacked paddy, or lie with his hands under his head, watching the mysteries and the magnificent starry sky. There were plenty of mosquitoes buzzing all night. He would have to light a fire to smoke away the mosquitoes. There are many pleasures of the country life. He learned to climb a coconut tree. Pick coconuts, cut them, and then drink the pure, delicious water. Or find a mango tree, even if it was not his own, and eat mangoes, or cashews, or golden apples, or cherries, or cut cane, slice off the husk, and chew the sweet stalk. This was a barefoot Grandpa Cheddi, whose feet were rough to walk in the back dams and jump trenches. He would shoot birds with a slingshot. Oh, well, that's a bad practice. Run a kite through the fields and feel the pride when it rose high in the sky, higher than any of the other boys, sometimes playing bad, you know? Cutting the lines of other kites by attaching, a piece of glass at the end of his kite tail. The Portmoran boys would collect wood on the foreshore for the annual burning of Holi or at Pagua. And after the burning, throw the mud and a beer, which is red dye, at one another. Grandma Brachoni would even be cross with Grandpa Cheddi for ruining his clothes. She had no money to spare and had no one to help her with the washing. No such thing as a washing machine in those days. When your dad and Aunt Nadira were little, they used to go to Portmoran for their holidays and experience a lot of fun your Grandpa Cheddi had when he was a little boy. What a pity they died before you were born, and you never got to know your two paternal grandparents, who would have loved you more than you can ever imagine. And now, boys and girls, this is the story of when Grandpa Cheddi was a little boy, our fourth president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. God bless Guyana.
Enjoy the story about...
It's a true story about when our president was a little boy.
When Grandpa Cheddi was a little boy. Boys and girls and mommies and daddies, me hope that you enjoyed the story. And before Papi, old man Papi, got to go and tell another story somewhere else, we want to ask you a little bit about the flambeau. So tell me a little bit about the flambeau.
In the story, it says there was no electricity. And it's true story. And Grandpa Cheddi and others, famous people in our country, they also use the flambeau. And you light it, you take a match and you light it, and it gives you light. And little children had to study using the flambeau. Thank God you got electricity. Lights on.
Oh my Papi, that's so interesting. Now tell me a little bit about how Grandpa Cheddi and other famous people used to keep the water cool when they didn't have any refrigerator.
Oh yes, according to the story, there was no refrigerator, but they used a goblet. Okay? Now it's made of clay, and you take this up and you pour the water inside, and then you put it outside for the night. And in the morning, you had ice water because the dew would cool the water. And this is what many of them uses to use. Yes, and you pour. And the water cool. That was when we didn't have refrigerators. But this was, I would like to say, this is the first kind of refrigerator.
The first kind of refrigerator.
Yes.
And all my Papi, any mosquito or fly used to go
Oh, here, you know what people say? Well, what people say is that if you don't got a frog, right, living in the goblet, the water wasn't pure. Now, I'll tell you the reason why the frog was there. Now, because, mosquito like to lay their eggs in water. So the mosquitoes smart,
Science.
They would go in here, okay? And they would lay their eggs. The frog's gonna go in there not to drink the water, but to catch the mosquito larvae. So, I mean to say you can't separate a frog from a goblet. and you can't separate the water from the goblet as being hot but cold. And this was how our ancestors and how Grandpa Cheddi lived when he was a little boy.
Oh, wow. We learned so much there, boys and girls. Thank you very much, Old Man Papi, for coming all the way from Port Joy for sharing the story of when Abiti's fourth president, Dr. Cheddie Jagan, was a little boy. Of course, the story was written by his lovely wife, Mrs. Janie Jagan.
Yes.
So, boys and girls, until we meet again, remember a big, big thank you to all the lovely people over at School of the Nations for sponsoring Storytime. Until we meet again, everybody, the story and the tin in Ben. Bye-bye.
Bye.
School of the Nations offers a complete educational experience based on social and emotional development, service, skills, and talent development, along with our academic programs. Jump into reading this season. The fun of learning never ends. Join us for upcoming Kids NBA during the Easter holidays.
Long, long time, Janie Gyal. Are we not go back down, Janie Gyal? Come, let me go back down.